Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. Today I would like to show you a little gadget. I normally refrain from buying new gadgets because my craft room is small, I don't have a lot of space, and sometimes I find I don't really use these gadgets often enough. But when I saw this gadget in a video last week, I'm going to link to the lady below, and I have seen Mary and Amberson use it as well, I thought I needed to get this. Reason being, I'll set it up in a moment, it just gets too hot a little bit, so I want to show you these materials first. I realised I can use these for my shrink plastic projects. And I've already got 2 shrink plastic videos on my channel. I'm going to link to them below as well. The problem with shrink plastic is it's very unpredictable, and when you either use the oven or the heat tool, it usually, especially with bigger pieces, I've got a big piece here, they can curl up, they can stick together. I got a Sizzix set that this thing came in, and it came with like a netting to go over the top. I can't remember whether I left that footage in one of the videos. I used it twice. It meant that I actually burned holes into the shrink plastic. That was no use. But with this new gadget, I don't have these problems, and these shrink plastic pieces are made in minutes and they come out perfect. So when I saw a lady do that on YouTube, I thought I have to get it. And what it is, it's a little pancake maker. So I'll set mine up in a moment, but I just wanted to show you the different kinds of shrink plastic that you can get on the market. This one actually is just a scrap I have left. I don't have any more sheets of that. These are old projects that are never finished. I coloured all these dragonflies in but never cut them out. I think my plan was to make earrings when I was still making jewellery. So this is shiny on the back, and then it's sort of matte on this side, but it's slightly see-through. Then I've got this one. I don't think I've used it yet. This is shrink plastic that actually comes in 6 colours. I might have a go at that today. I thought this would be great for earrings. I like colourful earrings, so that's quite good. Then I bought this. This is called Crystal Clear. I think all of these, no, these are all the Shrinkles ones, or Shrinkies. Oh, I thought they were the same company actually. And this one's Vase and Creative. I'll link to the ones below that I can still find. So these are super clear. So they're good for projects that you would like to be see-through. Then, sorry about the rustling, I've actually got some black Shrinkles. I've used that in a video. And I've also got some white sheets. And I've gone ahead and stamped this cat on there. Let me just pop these out of the way. What I have done for that is I have cut this out with my die cutting machine and a circle die. This is a stitched one. I'm not quite sure how the shrink plastic reacts to that, but this is the size I wanted, and my other round nesting dies aren't that good. And I used just my VersaFine, the Onyx Black. You can use Stays On, and I have used it in the past, and some pages recommend that. Problems with Stays On, it's a solvent ink and it can actually harm your stamps. So unless you remove it straight away, it can affect the quality of the stamps. And when you stamp it, I stamped it here on the matte side. Don't be alarmed, it does, what's the word I'm looking for, bleed a little bit, but that doesn't matter. By the time it's shrunk, you won't really see these bleeded things. So let me clean my stamp and clean my stamp and set up my machine, and then I'll show you how it works. So this is my pancake maker. I have just switched it off again because I had a piece of baking parchment in there which I used for my first project, and I could just smell that it was actually burning a little bit. You can see it against the white tile. Also, I'm keeping it on this white tile because it's getting quite hot, and the other YouTubers I've seen, they're touching the handle I wouldn't do that. It gets really, really hot on this one. I don't know why. I picked this one because I like the colour of it, but yeah, I can't really touch the handle at all. It's metal as well, and it gets quite hot. So I've got another piece here of baking parchment that I might actually use instead of this one. I will dispose of that one, but I've just switched my socket off again because before I will use this, I want to colour in my cat a little bit more. I've also done a few other things just off camera, but I'll show you that one in the second step. So for the colouring in, you can use Posca pens. You can use all sorts of alcohol markers, which will I do. You can use even colouring pencils. You can use what they called Sharpies. I've used them in the past. But be mindful with the Sharpies. I'm not quite sure about the alcohol markers. They can sometimes change the colour. I have actually swatched all mine and made a colouring chart for my shrink plastic. So I'm just quickly colouring the cat in here. Obviously it's mostly black, but I thought I'd give it a pinker nose. I want the eyes to be green, just a little bit. It might even smear a little bit, and I want to colour the rest that is white here. I want to colour that grey, so just for it to blend in a little bit better. So I think I'll quickly do this off camera. I just see my camera's wobbling anyway, and then I'll show you what I do in the pancake maker. So one thing I mustn't forget before I put this in, if I want to use it for something, if I want to turn it into a keyring, for example, is to put a little hole in the top. I'm just using my hole punch for that. Maybe just in between the ears there. That'll do me. So what have I done with my baking parchment? Oh, it's here. So this is still warming up again. It has got a little red light, but I think it already feels hot enough. So I'm placing this in here, and I'll remember to take it out once I stop using it. So I'm just placing this inside. This is, by the way, the biggest piece I've been trialing, but it should be okay. And then I'm just closing it. It's okay at the moment, but last time I tested it, it was a bit too hot. And then you just have to be patient. It doesn't take as long as one thinks it does. Having said that, because it's a bigger piece, I'm not quite sure. I will be quiet now, but I will leave it running in real time, and when it's ready, I will tell you how long it's taken in real time. So that's the magic of it. It takes seconds. So I can take this out now. I'm putting it on here. I'm using a spatula. It's a bit sticky actually. It's a bit soft. Quite surprised. But having said that, it's a different shrink plastic. So, and this is what I've got this for. This is to press it so that it's actually flat. And this is what I was worried about. The ink actually, no, it's ink from a different project. So it's got something on there. It's got like an imprint on it. That's weird. Oh no, that's just a bit of fluff. So I don't know if you can see that. It is a bit dark actually. I should have chosen a different motif, but it's actually really neat. I'll tell you, I'll show you something different now so that you get a better idea how quickly this goes. I have fussy cut one of my dragonflies from this project, and these, I'm sure they were coloured in with my Sharpies. I think I just stamped them and then I coloured them in with my Sharpies. So just doing the same thing. I'm just popping it in here. I tell you what though, I will turn this round a little bit so you've got a better view. So it only takes seconds. This time I forgot to count last time. I put it in underneath in writing, but it doesn't take long. So this is about 15 seconds, and I think this is amazing. This is really, really cute. And I can use these for embellishments. Obviously, if I had wanted them for earrings, I would have had to put a hole in these. But I think they're really, really cool. And once they cooled, they're proper solid. Oops. So how cute is this? Don't know if the camera picks it up actually. And you've got the colours on there. They do blend a little bit. But yeah, I think this is really nice. And I think this side, sorry, that had the colour on top, I think this one's actually nicer than the shiny side from underneath. So, and one more thing I wanted to show you. Oh, by the way, I've got some other projects here. These were again things I made ages ago and just had a trial run with. That's just painted with alcohol markers. No, sorry, with Sharpies. It's just a little fish. But I've also used a die here, a flower die, to just cut 2 flowers from the black shrink plastic. So I thought I'd just show you that quickly, throw that in, and again, just touch it. It's not too hot actually. Last time I felt I burned my fingers. Maybe I touched the lid instead. So I'm expecting this not to take longer than 15 seconds again. And you can lift it up a little bit to just have a sneak peek, but yeah, don't open it too early. But the great thing is because it doesn't have any, well, first of all, I think the heat is distributed. You don't have any centered heat on the project, so it doesn't curl up as much, and it doesn't have much space to curl up either. I think this is why it works so well. Look at that. How cute is this? So I could make little studs from this if I wanted to, or again I could put a hole in that and make some dangly earrings. I just saw a lady on YouTube, she made loads of little charms and put them all on a key ring. How cute is that? So yeah, I usually don't promote buying gadgets, but I think this is really, really cool. So if you're into shrink plastic, and if you've worked with it before but you never were really successful with it, you see this one hasn't quite shrunk yet, so I can close that again. Yeah, so if you find this is for you, it's worth the investment. I think it was about 20 quid. I'm going to link to that one below, but there are loads on the market at the moment because they're just getting more and more popular. Yeah, I can really, really recommend that. Might be doing a little crafty projects with these just because I like showing you something I've made with my things, but I'll have a little think what I can do after I've switched this off. I just want to show you this. Yeah, this has shrunk now. By the way, I said that in one of my other videos. If you want to have, like if you have round shapes or ovals and you want them to look alike for like earrings, make sure you cut them all the same way, because shrink plastic, you know, the sheets, they shrink into different directions whether you cut it that way or that way, so that's worth knowing. This one, yeah, I'm not too fussed about. I might make something else and put this in the bin, but yeah, as a trial piece I think this is nice. I might just have a little think about how to use these and the flowers. So yeah, bear with me. I'll show you something I make with these. Okay, so I have decided to create a little card with my little flowers, and I've also cut 2 butterflies. This is actually the same butterfly die, but with one of them I just cut the little tails off to make the butterfly look a bit different. So, and I just want this to be a meadow scene with the flowers stuck on. So I'm just creating the background here just by ink blending at the bottom and the top with 2 different colours. I'm just using the Elements de la Blue for the bottom, and then I've got this Spectrum Noir Harmony Crushed Velvet. I don't know if they still make that one. It's one of my first inks I had. By the way, whilst I'm doing that, One thing I forgot to mention, that one thing I don't like about this pancake maker that I bought is the cable is really short. I'd say it's about 1/2 meter long, so I need to have an extension lead here on my table. So that's one thing to look at, because if you need to have an extension lead on the table, you know, that takes it away from your craft space. It's okay, but I would have liked it to be a bit longer, so it would lead to my socket on the side of my cabinet. So I'm just ink blending here rather randomly. Tell you what I should actually do. I've got some new ink blending brushes. Bear with me whilst I get those out. I got these here from Craft Stash, and they're really soft, but I haven't really used them yet. So I bought them deliberately, sorry about my camera wobbling, for bigger pieces like this, because I thought it might be easier to cover the backgrounds. Definitely nice and smooth. Bit patchy, but then I'm going to ink blend over that anyway. So I think I'll just use the same one for the purple. Yeah, this one picks up a bit more because it's not a, this is not a spongy pad. It's more like a fabric one. Oh yeah, that's quite nice actually. A bit of a patch there, but there might be something on this paper. It's just some scrap cardstock, some leftovers. Don't think it's my 300 GSM. I think it's about 230. But oh, it blends very nicely. I like that. I think it looks a bit lighter on the camera than it actually is. So I'm not too bothered about the edges. I might put a frame round afterwards, but I think I'll start with a stamping. I'm thinking about just flicking some water though. So, oh, that's the wrong one, that's my alcohol. So I've just got a water bottle here. I normally spritz it, but I saw something the other day where you actually put the water in your hand or on your fingers. No, I think the lady spritzed on her fingers and then flicked it. Might even have been Lou Collins, I can't remember. Oh, that's a nightmare. That's too much. This is typically me not researching it properly. But never mind, we'll work with it. Let me just pick that up. Yeah, not what I had planned. So I should stick with my spritzing, I think. Yeah, definitely the better option. It depends on what look you want, but this is very wet now. So I quickly need to dry that with my heat tool because it's too wet to work on, and then I come back and do the quick stamping. Yes, this was definitely not my heavyweight cardstock because I've got a bit of texture going on here now where it was watery, but it doesn't matter. So I'm using my first stamp. This is the Bluebells. These are all Lavinia stamps. So I just want to create a bit of a flower garden, and I will only do first generation stamping for the mere reason that I want to these silhouettes to fit in nicely. I think I go a bit higher and then fill up the bottom so you can't see that this stalk is a bit short. Then this is the lavender. I try to get into a habit now actually putting my ink pad onto the stamp this way around because it is too noisy otherwise. So try to alternate the height a little bit and also the direction. The more you do that, the more natural it is. So I think I will just fill this in off camera, otherwise it takes too long. I will use the bulrushes. This is the, bear with me, the field grass, and then I think I will also use the meadow grass. So these are all just flower stems or plant stems that I can fill the bottom in with, and as I said, I quickly do this off camera. So I have stamped the meadow grass here at the bottom to basically fill this in a little bit. The bulrushes admittedly get a bit lost, I shouldn't have bothered about those. The field grass is great for filling in any areas, and I made sure I also had some on the edges and stamped off the edge just to make it look like it's continuous. But I still feel it needs to be grounded a little bit, so I will give this a frame now with my dark denim. I was thinking about coming in with a black soot to go even darker, but I think the black denim will actually just be enough. So coming in from the bottom here with my ink blending brush, just to give it a bit of a base here, and I think I will also give it a frame on the top. Yeah, contemplating whether it needs to be darker down there. I might have it darker, so I definitely will go along the edge here, move this up. Just go along the top as well, just with the residue I've got on here. Make sure I've got enough in the corners. Yeah, I will get my Blick soot out, bear with me. This is the Distress Oxide Black Soot, and that is really good if you want something dark but not too dark. Yeah, I like that. Looks a bit mystical at the bottom. Can you see? So, and all that's left to do for me now is to glue my shrink plastic pieces on. So the butterflies will definitely sit in the sky. I will, by the way, use the matte side. If you wanted to, you could use this glossy side, but I don't like that too much. And I think we'll just put the flowers in the meadow here. Contemplating whether I need a third one. I might just make a few more, and then I will glue the little butterflies down. And I think to glue them down, I will use my collal glue from my fine tip bottle. I think that will be best for the plastic. You could use some glue dots if you wanted to, maybe even some red tape, but that'll be tricky to actually put on there. So yeah, and then I will put this on a card base, but again I will do this off camera. My card is finished. I have cut 3 more flowers in a smaller size because at first I thought these were a bit too big, but once I glued these down I decided I might just as well use the big ones as well at the bottom there. Yeah, and I think it works quite well, especially with a sort of matte look to it, and you've got quite a bit of dimension there. Yeah, I think, yeah, I'm really pleased with this. And if you like this too, and like my little introduction of this new pancake maker, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.